So guys, in this video we'll be discussing about Wipro National Level Talent Hunt, that means NLTH Aptitude Questions and Answers 2021. So in this year, that means in 2021, Wipro is going to hire fresh graduates or the freshers for various roles. So it's a mass recruitment or mass hiring process. So if you want to know more about the application process and the eligibility criteria and the off-campus drive details, you can refer to our previous video. So we have already uploaded a video regarding this in YouTube. So we'll be putting the link of the previous video in the description of this video so that you'll be able to know more about the eligibility and the other things. And also, if you are new to our channel, then please subscribe and press the bell icon for more job updates and the lateral learning updates and the interview preparation videos or the interview guides. So in this video, we'll be discussing about the previous year questions and the answers. Total we'll be discussing about the 25 questions. So in the next video, we'll be discussing about the probable questions for this year, that means for 2021. So totally we'll be discussing about 50 questions. So it is not possible to cover 50 questions in one video, otherwise you will get bored, or you can say your brain will not work properly. So that's why we have made two videos or the two different videos. So now let's discuss about the previous year questions first. So in the next video we'll be discussing about the this year questions. So first of all we'll be discussing about the profit and loss questions. So the first question is, Mathili purchased a Walkman from her friend. She then sold it for 90 rupees. For the first time she sold of rupees 90. Then had it been sold for 105, then gain would have been 1/4 of the former loss. So what will be the cost price or the cost of the Walkman? So if you want to solve this question by yourself, you can pause this video and solve it by yourself, and later you can refer whether it is correct or not. So the four different options are there. So the first option is 114, second one is 126, third one is the 82, and fourth one is the 102. So the correct answer is D, 102. So now let me explain the question again. So for the first time when she sold of rupees 90, she faced the loss. And for the second time, if she would have sold this the Walkman of rupees 105, she would have been faced the profit of rupees 1/4 of the former loss, or you can say the previous loss. So now let's discuss about the answer. So suppose the cost price or the price of the Walkman purchased by Mathili is X. So it is X. So loss equal to X minus 90. That means cost price minus the selling price. For the first case or for the first case, the loss equal to X minus 90. Then the second case is profit. So if you want to have the profit, then the profit equal to SP. That means selling price minus cost price. So the selling price is 105 and the cost price is X. So profit would be 105 minus X. So according to the question, the profit equal to 1/4 of the loss. So 105 minus X is the loss equal to, the profit equal to 1/4 of the loss, X minus 90. So after solving this, we'll be getting the answer. So what will be the answer? 102. 102 is the cost price or the price purchased by the Mathili. So I hope you get a clear idea about this. So if you want to, so if are not able to understand this, you can again back this video for 20-30 seconds. Then again watch this video. I hope you will be able to understand this. So it is very easy question. So the questions asked in Wipro, the difficulty level of the aptitude questions are medium. It is not hard or it is not easy. It is medium. So everyone can solve this question with a little bit practice and little bit understanding. So please try to understand the question first. So now let's move to the second question. So a man sells 12 candies for rupees 12. Then he loses of rupees 2.4. If he sells 12 candies for 16 rupees, how much does he gain or loss? So this is the question and these are the options. So the correct answer is 1.60. Again, you can pause this video and try to solve by yourself. So now let me explain. So this is the selling price. So for 12 candies, the selling price is 12 as it is given. And he faces the loss of rupees 2.40. So what will be the cost price? So the cost price equal to 12 plus 2.40. As he is facing the loss, so the cost price will be more than the selling price. So therefore, cost price equal to selling price plus loss. So as I told earlier, if you are facing loss, the selling price will be less than the cost price will be less than the selling price. So what will be the cost price? 14.60. So now for the in the second case or the second time, he is selling 20 candies of rupees 16. So what will be the how much he gains or losses? For the second case, the selling price is 16. For the first, but here the selling price is 14.60 and the cost price is 14.60 and the selling price is 16. So what will be the profit? 16 minus 14.40. So we'll get 1.6. Here the selling price is greater than the cost price. So we'll be getting the profit or we'll have the profit or the man have the profit. So that's why the gain equal to 16 minus 14.40. So the profit will be 1.60. Correct option is B. So I hope you are able to understand this question. So it is very much easy. So try to understand the question first. Later you will be able to solve this. So now let's move to the third question. So a woman sold 15 bed sheets for rupees 15,000. So for 15 bed sheets, the cost price is 15,000. For one bed sheet, the cost price is 1,000. Hence, gaining 5 bed sheets cost price. So the cost price of the bed sheet is, what is the cost price of the bed sheet? For 15 bed sheets, the selling price is 15,000. But we don't know about the cost price. So we have to find the cost price per bed sheet. So now let's understand. So the selling price of 15 bed sheets is 15,000 as it is given. Then the cost price of the single bed sheet is X. Suppose the cost price of single bed sheet is X. So what will be the cost price of 15 bed sheets? 15X. Then the gain price is 5X as it is given. So if gaining or the profit would be 5 bed sheets cost price. So what is the cost price of 5 bed sheets? 5X. So therefore according to the question, so the gain equal to SP minus CP, that means the selling price minus CP or the cost price. So what is the profit? 5X as it is given in the end question. So the 5X is equal to 15,000 minus 15X. So after solving this, we'll be getting the cost price of one bed sheet equal to 750. So the correct answer is or the option is C, 750. So I hope you are able to get this. So let me repeat this again. So the selling price of 15 bed sheets are given 15,000 and we need to find the cost price of one bed sheet. So here 15 bed sheets, the cost selling price are 15,000. So suppose for one bed sheet the cost price equal to X. For 15 bed sheets the cost price will be 15X and the gain would be 5X. So after solving this we'll be getting 750. So that's it. So this is all about the third question and answer. So I hope you are able to understand this. So let's move to the second question or the next question. So the probability then. So it's a little bit tricky questions. Maximum of the most of the students are not able to understand the probability and the permutation combination questions. But here we'll be discussing more easily. You'll be able to understand properly. We'll be discussing. So now let's discuss. So the software engineer creates a LAN game where an 8-digit code made up of 1 to up to 8 has to be decided on universal code. There is a condition that each number has to be used and no number can be repeated. Repetition is not allowed here. So what is the probability that first 4 digits of code are even number? So it's a easy question. Again, you can read this question by pausing this video and try to solve this by yourself. So let's understand this question first. So here, so these are the options. So total number of digits are 8 digits. Total digits are 8 here, 1 to 8. So the odd even digits are 4, 2, 4, 6 and 8. So remaining 4 digits are odd. So no repetition is allowed. So the probability of first digit being even equal to 4 by 8. So total 4 even digits are there. So for the first time, if you are choosing, you can either choose 2, 4, 6 or 8. Suppose we are choosing this one, 1 by 8. Again 4, we can choose 6 and we can choose 8. So you might be thinking, where is the 8? 8 is the sample space or the total number of options, you can say. This is the sample space n. So that's why we are choosing 4 numbers out of 8. We need to choose. So that's why 1 by 2 after normalizing this. For the second digit, we can choose 1 digit is gone, as no repetition is there or repetition is not allowed. So here the remaining 3 options or the digits are there. We can choose any 1 digit out of 3 digits. So that's why what will be the probability? 3 by 7 we can choose, or the wedge we can choose. For the third digit, 2 digits are gone. So now for third digit, 1 by 2. Sorry, to out of this we need to, there will be 6 digits or the 6 ways we can choose. So 2 by 6 it will be. So now 1 is gone, so totally 5. So here 4 digits are there and 1 digit is here. So totally 5 digits are there and we need to choose 1. So that's why 1 by 5. That means 1 digit is only there. So that's why 1 by 5. Probability of first digits of the code are even. So we need to simply multiply this. So after solving this, we'll be getting the output. After multiplying, we'll be getting 1 by 70. So that's it. So it's a easy question. So now let's move to the second question. So a quiz has one multiple question, multiple choice question or the one MCQ question, and the answers or the choice, multiple choice are A, B and C, and 2 true and false questions. So totally there will be 3 questions. So what is the probability answering all the questions correctly by guessing? So now let's understand first. So there is one MCQ question, or the true and false question is 1. So totally there are 2 questions. Yeah. So the probability of getting MCQ question answer correctly is 1 by 3. That means we can either choose A, we can either choose B, or either we can choose C. 1 by 3 ways we can choose. So the probability of getting one true or false answer correct is 1 by 2, because we want to, or we can choose either true or false. So that's why 1 by 2. Totally what will be the output, or you can say what will be the answer? We need to simply multiply this. So 1 by 3, 1 by 2 and 1 by 2. So what will be the output? 1 by 12. So this is it. So now let's move to the third question. So Ravi has a bag full of 10 Nestle and 5 Cadbury chocolates. So totally what will be the sample space? 15. 10 plus 5, 15. So the total number of chocolates are 15. Out of these he draws 2 chocolates. That means 2 by 15. 10C, 15C2. What is the probability that he would get at least one Nestle chocolate? So at least one Nestle chocolate, at most is not written. So please read the question properly or carefully. So here 10 Nestle chocolates and 5 Cadbury chocolates. Totally 15 chocolates are there. Out of he draws 2 chocolates. out of which at least one Nestle chocolate should be there, and the remaining might be the one Cadbury chocolate or two Nestle might be there. So now let's understand the answer. So total number of ways in which the two chocolate can be drawn is NC2. That means combination. Out of 15 chocolates, you need to pick or choose 2. So the answer will be 105. So what will be the answer of 15C2? 15 factorial divided by 2 factorial into 15 minus 2, that means 13 factorial. So after solving this, we'll be getting 105. So the number of ways in which at least one Nestle is selected. So for the first case, we need to select at least one Nestle chocolate. So there are totally 10 Nestles. So we can choose 10 C1, and remaining one chocolate should be there. So out of 5 Cadbury chocolate, we need to choose or select one. So answer will be 5 C1. It is written at least one Nestle should be there. So it is not written that at most. That means out of 2 chocolates, we can also choose 2 Nestle chocolates. So for the next case, what will be the answer, or what will be the combination or option? 10C2. And already we have chosen 2 Nestles, so we can choose more, because here you can see we have to draw 2 chocolates. So we have already taken 2 chocolates. For the Cadbury, it will be 5C0, because already we have taken 2 Nestles. So for the Cadbury, it will be 0. So after that, we need to add, because what are the total number of ways? You need to add this. So after adding and after normalizing or after solving this, we'll be getting 95. So totally there are 95 ways we can solve this, or we can choose this. So that's it. So let's understand it again. So let me remove this so that you'll be able to understand it properly or easily. So let's remove this. So there are 10 Nestles and 5 Cadburys. We need to select at least one Nestle, and we need to pick 2 chocolates, of which at least one Nestle should be there. So first of all, the sample space is 15C2. Then for the first case, if you are picking or choosing one Nestle chocolate, then for the second time pickup, we can pick the one Cadbury chocolate. So as they have mentioned at least one Nestle chocolate, we need to pick or choose. So that's why, that means at most we can pick 2 Cadbury chocolates, Nestle chocolates. So that's why in 10C 2 ways we can pick, or we can do this. As we are picking 2 chocolates or the Nestle chocolates, we need to choose, or we must pick 0 chocolates from Cadbury, because we have to draw 2 chocolates. So that's why we can do or draw more chocolates for in the case of Cadbury. So that's why 95 is the answer. So therefore the probability of at least one Nestle chocolate is 95 by 105. So what is the sample space? 105. We need to find the probability. So these are the total number of ways, and the sample space is 105 here. So that's why 95 divided by 105 equal to 19 by 21. This is the probability of choosing at least one Nestle chocolate and drawing 2 chocolate. So now let's discuss about the permutation combination questions. So 12 members were present at a board meeting. Each member shook hands with all the other members before and after the meeting. Before the meeting, they have to do the handshake, and after the meeting, they have to do the handshake. How many handshakes were there? So 12 people were there. So suppose I am doing the handshake with another's. So I will not be doing the handshake with my hand. I will not be doing. So that means there will be how many handshakes totally. So there are the options. The answer is the C, 132. So now understand. So the first member will shake hands with 11 people because there are totally 12 people, and the first person, as you discussed earlier, first person will not be doing the handshake with himself or herself. So totally there will be 11 person or the 11 ways he will be doing the handshake, and each person has to do the handshake with other person. It is mandatory. Then the next man or the second man will be doing the handshake with 10 people because he already have done the handshake with 11 people and excluded. He is excluded himself. He is excluded and the 12th person is excluded or the 11th person is excluded. So totally remaining 10 people are there. So likewise after that 9 people will be there, then 8, then 7, like this up to 1. So it's a AP or arithmetic progression. So this is an AP with the term is 11. The first number is 11 and the common difference is -1. It is decreasing. So after that one person will be there, or you can say 2 person will be there. He will be doing the handshake with only one person. So 11 to 1 it will be decreasing. So the number of terms is 11. So after solving this you will be getting, so leave it. So after that you will be getting Sn equal to 66. So before the meeting, so we have to calculate before and after the meeting. So before the meeting equal to 66 and after the meeting it will be 66. So totally there will be 132 handshakes. So this is very easy question. The first person will be doing the handshake with remaining 11 person or the 11 people. So after that the rest of the people, that means the 10th people will be doing with the 9th people or the 9 people, and the 9 people will be doing the handshake with 8 people. So that's it. So after that if you go adding you will be getting 66. Then as we have to calculate for both the cases, that means before meeting and after meeting, you will be adding, simply adding, and you will be getting 132. This is the answer, option C, 132. So this is all about the question. So let's move to the second question. So out of 5 boys and 5 girls, a group of 5 has to be formed containing at least 3 boys. So this is like the previous question, the Nestle and the Cadbury chocolate. In how many ways we can do this? So totally, so if you want to solve this by yourself, you can pause this video and try to solve this by yourself. So totally there were 5 boys and 5 girls. We need to form a team or build a group of 5 people, of which at least 3 boys should be there. So you can choose the boys, 3 boys in 5C3 ways, and remaining we need to choose 2 girls because we need to form or build a group of 5 members. So already we have chosen 3 boys. We can choose 5 girls are there. We can choose 2 girls. Then in the second case or in the next case, we can choose 4 boys as well because they have mentioned that at least 3 boys we should or we can choose. We can choose, that means we can choose 3 boys or 4 boys, or we can also choose 5 boys. That means no girls will be there for if you are choosing 5 boys. So in the second case, it will be 5C4, and already we have chosen or taken 4 boys. That means we have to take 1 girl or we have to include 1 girl. So out of 5 girls, we can choose 1 girl. That means 5C1. Then both are gone. Then we need to choose 5 boys out of 5 boys. That means 5C5 ways we can do this. And we need to choose girls 0. That means 5C0. After solving this, you will be getting 1 by 126. That means the correct answer is D, 126. So it is a easy question. So they have mentioned that at least 3 boys we need to choose. That means we can choose 3 boys and 2 girls. That means the group of 5 member. Then 4 boys and 1 girl. And the third option or the third way is 5 girl, 5 boys and 0 girl. So these are the 3 possible ways we can form a group. 3 boys and 2 girls, 4 boys and 1 girl, and 5 girl, 5 boys and 0 girl. So if we are adding, then we'll be getting the total number of ways we can build this group. So after solving this, we'll be getting 126. So this is all about the answer 126. So this is the easy question. So most of the time we face this type of questions, the team building question. Most of the time in the most of the interview we'll be getting the same question. So how many 3-digit numbers can we form using 2, 3, 4 and 5 with none of the digits being repeated, or the repetition is not allowed here. So totally there are 3-digit number we need to form. So let's discuss about the answer. So the given digits are 2, 3 and 4, 5. So we need to form a 3-digit. So the first number or first digit we can choose out of 4. We can choose 4 ways we can choose this. That means either we can choose 2, or either we can choose 3, or either we can choose 4, or either we can choose 5. That means 4 ways we can do this, or 4 options that we can choose the first digit of this number. Then the second digit is, suppose we have chosen the 2, remaining 3 digits are there, we need to choose the second digit. So either we can choose 3, 4 or 5. That means 3 ways or 3 options are there, we can choose the second digit. So 2 digits are gone, remaining 2 digits are there, we can choose either 4 or 5. That means 2 ways we can do this. 4 is also gone. So totally we will be getting 4 into 3 into 2, 24. As they have asked for 3-digit number, so that's why the output or the answer will be 24. So if they have asked for the 4-digit number, so remaining 1 digit will be there. That means 5 or 4 or 3 or 2, any number will be there. So that means the remaining number will be 1. So if they have asked for the 4-digit number, answer will also be the 24. For both the cases, the answer will be 24. 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So remaining last digit will be the at the first position of the number. So that's it. It's the easiest question ever in the number system, or you can say permutation combination. So let's move to the next question. So find the unit place of 1 into 2 to the power 2, 3 to the power 3, 4 to the power 4, 5 to the power 5 and 6 to the power 6. So what will be the unit place of this? So first, according to this, 1 to the power 1 unit place will be 1, 2 to the power 2 the unit place will be 4, sorry, my mistake, 4, and like this the output will be. So after adding this 1, 2, it will not 2, it will be 4. So like this it will be 29. So the output or the answer will be B. That means 9. So it's a easy question. No need to repeat this or the and no need to repeat this answer. So if your number is divisible by 63, then it is also divisible by which number? So the options or the answers, or the you can say the options are 11, 13, 7 and 5. So what is the answer? So the answer is C. So if you divide or you can say the factorize 63, it will be like 9 into 7. So 9 equal to 3 into 3 it can be. So if the option were 9 or 3, then the answer would have been 9 or 3. Because 7 is there, 9 into 7 equal to 63. So the option or the answer would be 7 only. So if the answer was 3, then the both will be the exact or the correct answer, 7 and 3. As the only 7 is there, so that's why the answer is 7. So now let's discuss about the problem on the trends or the trend problem. So a train runs at a speed of 42 meter per second, takes 35 seconds to pass a tunnel, and after traveling some distance it takes 15 seconds to cross a pole. So what is the length of the tunnel? So it's a easy question. So before discussing further, let me tell you one theory. So if you are crossing a tunnel, suppose this is the tunnel and the train needs or wants to cross this. So my handwriting is a little bit bad, so please try to manage. So this is the tunnel and this is the train. Suppose the train wants to cross this tunnel or bridge. So total number, total, what will be the total length or covering? So the length of the train itself plus the length of the bridge or tunnel. So total number of distance or the path covered by the train would be length of the train. Suppose the length of the train is t, suppose, and length of the tunnel or bridge. So total length will be t plus b. So if the train wants to cross a pole, or you can say the electric pole or any tree or anything or a person, then what will be the length of the or the distance covered by the train would be only the length of the train itself, because it will be crossing a person. The whole point will be crossing the person, or you can say the length only. So suppose, for example, the train wants to cover this path or this point, cross this point, so it will be crossing the whole body. Suppose if it wants to cross this point, it would also be crossing this point. So what will be the total distance covered? Whole thing you need to cover. First its place. So for example, suppose at this place the train was here. So to cross this point, you need to cross whole point. At the end also you need to cross the whole point. So what will be the total distance covered? The total distance of the tunnel or the bridge plus the distance of the train. So now let's discuss the answer. So while passing the tunnel it takes 35 seconds. So what will be the displacement or the distance, velocity into time? So the length of the train plus tunnel equal to 42 into 35. That means 147370 meter. So 42 is the velocity, 42 meter per second, and the time is 35 second. So total distance will be 1470. So now let's move to the second case. So length of the train equal to 15 plus 42, because it is taking 15 seconds only to cross the pole. That means the train is covering its own distance, or you can say own length. So that's why the length will be, or the distance covered by the train while crossing the pole will be 630 meter only. So the length of the tunnel will be 1473 minus 630 equal to 140 meter only. So the length of the tunnel will be 840. So I hope you are able to understand this answer. So it's a easy question from our class 10 where you solving this answer. So I hope everyone is able to solve this question. So now let's discuss about the second question. So car is 250 meters behind the bus. That means the car is behind the bus. The car and bus are moving with the speed of 60 km per hour. That means car is moving with the speed of 60 km per hour and the bus is moving 35 km per hour. That means the speed of the car is more than the speed of the bus. Then the car will be ahead of the bus by 250 meter in which how many seconds? So these are the question. So these are the options. So the correct answer is 72 meters. It's a easy question. So before discussing further, let me tell you one theory. So first of all, we need to find the relative distance of the car with respect to the bus. So while calculating the relative distance, we need to follow a easy theorem or a theory. So according to the theorem of the relativity, so while suppose this is the car C and this is the bus B. So if you want to find the relative speed or the relativity according to the theory of relativity, if you want to find the speed of car as compared to the or with respect to B, and if they are moving in the same direction, so the relative speed will be s equal to the speed of the car minus b, because they are moving in the same direction. So that means the speed will be decreased, or because the distance is being decreased gradually, so that's why the speed will be c minus b. So if they are, suppose they are moving in the opposite direction, suppose this is this is bus and this is car, suppose, and if you want to find the relative speed of car with respect to b, then the answer will be c plus b, because first of all both are in opposite direction. First of all, c needs to move, or the car needs to move in this direction, in the same direction of b. First of all, suppose if it crosses or reaches the back of b or the bus, then only it needs to cross the b. So total distance will be, he needs to increase the speed of the car so that he or she will be able to cross the b or the bus. So that's why the relative speed will be increased, or it needs to increase the relative speed in order to cross the bus. So this is all about the speed or the relativity theory. So first of all, the car was 250 meters behind the bus, and it needs to be 25 meters ahead of the bus. So what is the total distance it needs to cover? 25 plus 250 plus 250. That means totally it needs to cover 500 meter. That means half kilometer. So what will be the relative speed as they are going in the same direction? So the relative speed will be the speed of the car minus the speed of the bus. As the speed of the car is more as compared to the speed of bus, so we are doing the minus. 60 minus 35 equal to 25 km per hour. And they are moving in the same direction. Sorry, it is same direction. My mistake. So for the car to be ahead of 250 meter, total distance you need to cover 1 by 2 kilometer. So the time taken equal to half kilometer divided by 25 kilometer per hour. So 1 by 50 or 5 hour it needs to cross or be ahead of 250 meters ahead of the bus. So total time taken is 3600. That means we have converted 1 by 50 or 1 hour into second divided by 50 equal to 72 seconds it needs, or it will be taking in order to be ahead of the bus, 250 meters ahead of the bus. This is all about the second question. So I hope you are able to understand this. So if you are not able to understand this, please pause this video or go back again 30-40 seconds again back and try to understand, and definitely you will be able to understand it, because it's a easy question, very easy question. So no worries, let me explain it again. So the car was 250 meters behind and it needs to be 250 meters ahead of the bus. So totally it needs to cover 500 meter. That means 1 by 2 kilometer or the half kilometer. And the relative speed would be 60 minus 35 because they are moving in the same direction. So the relative speed would be 25 kilometer per hour, and distance is there 500 meter distance by speed. So the distance or the displacement s by speed, sorry, distance d by s equal to time taken. So you need to divide this and you will be getting 72 second. So that's it. So sorry for my bad handwriting. So now let's move to the third question. So the reciprocal of HCF and LCM of the two numbers are 1 by 12 and 132. So what will be the HCF and LCM? 12 and 132, because the reciprocals are 1 by 12 and 1 by 312. So if the one number is 24, find the other number. So as we know, or according to the theory of HCM and LCM, So the HCF into LCM equal to product of two numbers. So already they have given one number is 24. So 12 into 32 into equal to 24 into the second or the other number. So the other number or the second number would be 156. So it's a easy question. No need to repeat. So now let's move to the second question. So it's a time and work question. So an air conditioner or the AC can cool the hall or the room in 40 minutes, while another takes 45 minutes to cool under similar condition. So if both the air conditioners are switched on at the same instance or the same time, then how long it would be taking to cool the whole room approximately? Suppose it's like the time and work. Suppose the A can complete the work in 40 days and the B can complete a work in 45 days. If they are working together, in how many days they will be completing the work? So this is like the time and work. So in different ways they can ask the question. It is not like if suppose you are discussing the air conditioner problem, then they will be asking you the air conditioner problem only. No, the digit might be changing or the question might be changed, but the concept would be same. So now let's discuss. So as we switching on the same or the both the ACs together or at a time, so what will be the case? For the first, it takes 40 minutes to cool the room. So in 1 minute it will be cooling 1/40 part. For the second AC, it is taking 45 minutes to cool the whole room or the veranda, etc. So it is taking 1/40. It will be doing 1/40 part or 1/40 work in 1 minute. So totally, if we add, totally combiningly, they will be doing 1/40 plus 1/45 part or the work in 1 minute. So to complete whole part or one, you need to add this and reverse it. So totally will be getting 21.17 for approximately 22 minutes approximately. So in 1 minute, the first AC is doing of 1/40 work, and for the second AC it is doing 1/40th part of the work, whole work. So totally in 1 minute they are doing 1/40 plus 1/50th part of the whole work. So to complete the whole work, what is the time taken by them or by the both ACs? So this is the output. 22 minutes they will be taking to complete the work. So now this is all about the 25 questions. So these are the previous year questions. So in the next video we'll be discussing about the this year questions or the probable questions. So I hope everyone is able to understand this question. So if you have any doubts anywhere, you can ask by reaching us through the social media or through the email address that we have provided, helpfultechniques@gmail.com. So in fact, no worries, I'll be putting the email address in the description of this video. Please check the email address of this email address in the description of this video, so that anytime you can reach us by commenting in your doubts in the description of this video or through the email address. So thank you for watching and all the best for your job search or for this interview.